Hi, and welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about luxury events on a budget. I know you think you gotta spend a lot of money to have a full social calendar, but I'm the girl to tell you that you do not. If you wanna be a woman that's like out there with the full social calendar and you're attending charity balls, events at the museum, Formula One, these types of events, you can do it and do it within a budget. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how I do it and how I have been doing it for myself and my family for years and years and years. Believe me, you're not gonna be left out in the cold. By the time you finish this video, you'll know everything you need to know to get out in the social streets, as they say. But first, if you're new here, hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Jenée. I'm the luxury vagabond in my late 40s, very late 40s. I decided to redesign my whole life. I quit my job, became a digital nomad, became an international luxury property house sitter, and now I inspire other women over the age of 40 to do the same thing. Take charge of changing your life. You be in the driver's seat, and there is no better time to design a life that you want to love living, not just kind of like, but love living till right now. So I'm here, and today we're going to talk about getting you past the ropes, on the red carpet, those types of things. And if you wait till the end of the video, I'll have like a little bitty, little extra to give you, to tell you how I afford to dress for all of these events. All on a budget. So let's say, first and foremost, how do you find what's going on? Because you're like, Jenée, look, I have not been doing these things. I am not social. I have no idea what's going on in my city. It's okay. I got some tips for that too. We're going to start with how to find things that you want to get into. We're going to start with that first. So number one, I always say to start with whatever your city is, whatever their social pages are, either from the local newspaper, which local newspaper still has an online site. You can view the social society pages there, or you can view the society pages like if they have a magazine. So here in Houston, we have a magazine called Paper City. It's mostly social, what's going on in the city, that type of thing, classy and elegant events, along with like restaurant openings and all of that. You're gonna look for those, and what you're gonna see is you're gonna say, well, Jenée, that's not helping me. I see what's going on, but it's already happened. These are pictures from the event that happened last month. Don't worry about that. We're using it for two purposes. So number one, we're looking for what just happened so we can see if we want to potentially put those events on our calendar for next year so we know they're coming so we can plan. We're also going to find out if that's a reoccurring event and start to look at those particular societies. So if it's a specific society, they typically will have more than one event a year. So now you're basically building your awareness of who's in your city, what they're having, and what they have on a yearly basis. Now that's gonna help you to plan forward. Now as far as planning for something coming up, like it's midsummer, let's say I want to find what's going on in the fall, I have nothing on my calendar yet. It won't happen to you after this video, but let's say you have nothing coming up on your calendar in the fall and you wanna see what's coming up in the fall, you can look previous years. So go to your, same thing, the society or your local newspaper's website, those types of things. If you go and just scroll back to fall of previous year, then you'll see what events they were having during that time. Then you can check and see if those events are happening this year, if there's still tickets available, if you are even interested in doing those, but at least it helps you build your calendar and you can start doing a few of those things, get them in for the fall. And I always say planning allows you to make sure that you have a consistent calendar that you can also maintain. And when you're doing your future planning based on this little research that we're doing, because we're doing research, right? Because these events are just not going to fall on you. If you wait for that, you're always going to be, it's going to be too late or it's going to be more expensive. So we're doing our planning, and you're always going to make sure that if you're interested, you see something you like, and you're like, ooh, I do this next year, or I want to do this coming up. Join their newsletter. I know you got a whole bunch of spam and a whole bunch of junk coming into your email, but if you're going to take this seriously and you want to keep your calendar full, you need to have a dedicated folder just for that, so that you will see these things, because sometimes time is of the essence on being able to respond and to pay for events or to get discount tickets. So we want to make sure that we're seeing those things. And I know when you're doing the research, you're going to tell me this too. I can already see it coming. You're going to start looking, and you're going to look up something. It's going to be a charity thing, a charity event, and it's going to be like, girl, it's $10,000 a table. And I'm not talking about, now if that's in your current budget, yes, but this is on, remember this video is about doing social events on a budget. So we're gonna pass on that one. We may even still join this, we may even still follow the society because they may have other events that are maybe not at that level that we can attend. But what I'm telling you is, as you start to research, you'll see that there's a lot of things that you can really get out and do that don't cost a lot of money. I will give you an example. My husband and I go to polo every year. Each season, we at least go to 1 or 2 matches. It is a fantastic, classy way to spend your Sunday. It is wonderful. And entry-level tickets to go to that event are only $35. Now, yes, can you spend hundreds? Yes, you can. Can you spend over $1,000 or thousands if you would like to join for the season? Yes, you can. But remember, we're doing stuff on a budget, and we're trying to bring variety into our social calendar and still stay within our financial parameters that we're working with. So now that we've found the events, we built our calendar for the year, or, in this case, for the rest of the year. We built our calendar, which this is a perfect time to do this, ladies, because the holidays are going to be coming up. There's going to be all kinds of things going on, and you want to make sure that, if you want to be out and doing social things, you have to plan for them. So this is the perfect time. It's the end of the summer, and you can build your fall calendar and see what you want to be available to do. So what I'm going to tell you now is, how do I exactly save money on these types of events, other than doing the research and finding out what it is that I want to be involved in this upcoming season? I'll tell you the first thing that I do. The first category is what I call prepaying for entertainment. And what that means is I hold a lot of different memberships, and I've held them over the years, because just the fact of being like basic membership for, say, some of the museums or things like that, or some of the societies, will grant you entry into a lot of free events that are very, very nice. I mean, it's worth the membership just for you to have all of the free member events. And I think people think because they're not thinking ahead, they don't see the value in becoming a member, because they're like, oh, why would I pay to be a member for $100 for the year? Well, that $100 is going to get you once a quarter maybe a cocktail hour that is included with the release of an art show or something like that. So my first recommendation, and what I do all the time, is I make sure to decide what I'm going to join for the year, because this is part of building my social calendar, and I'm prepaying. And when you prepay, you pay less. Okay? Now, when I'm talking about prepaying for the year, so you get entertainment for the year, at certain levels, like even if you don't want to be at the basic level, some of these, it may be an advantage to you to join at a higher level if you want to get access to events, not even just in your city, but in other cities or around the world. And a lot of museums have that, and some of the societies do as well. And that is another way that you can prepay. And then next thing you know, you have events not only that you have access to for free in your city, but in other cities as well. Even if the events are not free, you still are going to get a discount on that event based on the fact that you're a member. You see where I'm going now? You like prepay, and it kind of just filters down, and then you get a discount ticket. If you don't go for free, then you bring a free. That, like, do you see where I'm going? You bring a friend for free, blah, blah, all that. Okay, we got that. Another way to prepay is to go in with a friend. Girlfriend of mine, whenever the season is released and tickets are on sale and they're running like a buy one, get one free, you might want to check and see, this is why you need to be involved and plugged in to what's going on, because you'll get an email that says tickets are 30% off, or you're going to get an email that it's buy one, get one free for this particular time. Whenever I get those, I share them with my theater partner, or either with my husband, or other couples that you want to share it with, other ladies that are interested in doing the same thing, and you guys can go in together. Buy one, get one free, yes, then y'all can both go. Or you can buy 2 shows, and if y'all both have a date, one person goes and takes their date to one another person. You get my idea. So if you're gonna do this with a friend or whatever, and you can buy like a whole season, which is typically discounted. These are ways to stretch your dollars and to stay busy and to stay, have reasons to get out and, I don't know, look extra fabulous on a budget. So we're gonna prepay. When you're prepaying, I give you a couple of tips with that as well. Make sure you stay flexible on what you want to see. If you want to see the concert that everybody wants to see, you're most likely not going to get the biggest discount than if you are more broad. If I say this fall I want to attend a jazz concert, not like this specific jazz musician, I want to see that person. No, I want to go to a jazz concert. I'm going to have a lot more flexibility. That's going to give me a chance to pay less, because typically the performers that are not as well known, who are, I'm telling you, almost equally as fabulous, and sometimes even more so, where you'd be like surprised and you see like an up and coming group, you can get discount tickets to those and still build your night around that, and it's still in the same theater, it's still the same crowd, you still have such a wonderful time. So that is part of that prepaying. I say stay flexible. And if it happens to be something that's music-based, before you jump all the way in and like, we're gonna buy a series and all that, and if you haven't heard of them, please go to YouTube and, and Google them and make sure that you like their music, or that you can maybe stretch yourself outside of your typical cultural bubble, whatever you're used to, and would enjoy it, because that's still part of like vetting what we're gonna do and building our calendar for the year. I think you get my point on that. That's all forms in the realm of prepaying. We want to prepay whenever our year's set it and forget it. Now, once I would say this too, when you are looking at setting up your year, make sure that you are budgeting for additional things that come with that event. If it's a charity event and there's like a minimum spend on an auction, or if it is you are going somewhere and you're going to need to park, or just make sure when you're doing your budgeting that you are budgeting the additional expenses that come with it. So that's another reason why we're trying to save on the access to it, because there are additional things that you're going to need to spend money on that need to be in your budget as well. That doesn't mean we don't go. We're just being good with our finances, and we're making sure we include those things for the year as well. And one last tip, or as far as prepaying, or when you're looking for these discount tickets or getting the emails, another good idea is that if you are available to go to like preview shows, openings that are prior to like the official opening, like maybe it's the night before the grand opening of this particular run of this series, that type of thing. Those are always going to be cheaper for you to attend than the day of. And I know some people are like, well, that makes sense, yes, but it's also, remember, we're trying to get out and be social and do it on a budget, so this is a way that we can still get it in. It's the same company, this, that, and the other. It's just that you're not going on opening night. And we don't really care, because we just want to go and enjoy ourselves and dress up and have a classy evening with a whole bunch of other people that are doing the same thing. Now, more along the lines of not going to the main thing on like the day everybody wants to go and the time that everyone wants to go. If it's not something theater-based, society-based, that type of thing, let's say it's an event like Formula One, okay? Those types of things, sporting events, French Open, US Open, those types of things. Okay, we're talking about those. Again, you're looking for tickets to the preview or qualifier. So skip the championship, skip all that. If you are on a budget, you want the days that lead up to that. You want to see them qualifying or doing practice runs. If it's a tennis event, you want to see the qualifying rounds for that as well. And sometimes, to be honest with you, some of these events like the French Open, they have grounds passes. You can get on the grounds for free and go do a picnic. So say you want to be completely, you just don't even want to buy a ticket. You just want to go on the grounds and have a picnic and enjoy the atmosphere and all the festivities that come along with being in that environment, you can do that for free. A lot of these events have ground passes that are free or very, very reasonable. And actually for, again, using the example of the French Open, you can get qualifier tickets to see some of the qualifying matches, and those are 70 euros for like a multi-day pass. Very inexpensive, but again, you're getting all the fanfare, you're getting all of the luxury and all of the classiness that comes with these types of events, and you don't have to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars. And again, I mentioned with the races, if you're going to do something like a Formula One, qualifying rounds are much cheaper. You don't want to go on Sunday on the finals. You want to go like on a Thursday or the Friday. Those types of things you can still participate. There's tons of stuff for the fans. And if you're going on one of those days, even if you want to upgrade your ticket, you're still upgrading at a cheaper price than the levels would be on the final days. So just be aware of that, have flexibility, and this gets you a lot more access. Now, I've already given you 2 tips on saving money, which is after you do your research, you're going to prepay because you've already built your calendar, or you're going to have flexibility and you're going to go to previews, qualifying matches, those types of things. My third recommendation, and what I always use as well, is I call it making yourself available. And what I mean by that is strategically planning to be in a location that has a lot of fanfare, that has a lot of going on during a certain time of year, and you're just placing yourself in that, but most of the stuff that's happening is completely free. So to give you an example, I booked a house sit in late October. I was able to stay there for free, and as I luxury house sat in one of the best neighborhoods, every restaurant had decor. All the city decor was already up. There was plenty of fanfare. There's already stuff happening, and all of it was free, and I got to enjoy that without paying a dime because I made myself available, like strategically available. Another example, one that's personally on my list, and if y'all want to show up next year with me, which is I just spent 5.5 weeks in Europe this year. Now next year when my husband and I go to Europe, we are strategically planning our travels around certain events. And one of them is strategically making ourselves available in June in Portugal, because the largest Afrobeats, one of the largest ones, happens in southern Portugal in the Algarve, where we were this past time. But we didn't know at that time about this event. So we're going to strategically make ourselves available. So plan. A lot of this is planning so that you can save money. You got to plan to save money. If you do anything last minute, you're not going to save money. And I know if you have thoughts about booking around events, I know typically they're like hotels are higher on the days of the event, those types of things. Yes, all of that is true, which is why we're going to default back to the having flexibility. We're not trying to be there day of event. We're trying to be there the week before. We're trying to be there when they're setting up and when they have their first day, and when everyone else has not even arrived yet in the city. We're already there and we're enjoying things. And by the time everyone wants to get in the city, we're already out of there. Or we've booked a house sit, so we're already gone. So you just have to be a lot more strategic on attending these events if you want to do it, and do it on a budget. But I know you can do it because I do it all the time. So if you are enjoying this video, please make sure you take a break, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Thank you very much, and we're going to keep rolling along. Okay, so in thinking about you designing your own social calendar, I would love to hear in the comments, what kind of events, if you have some in mind, what would you like to attend, or what have you already been to that you just enjoyed? I'd love to hear all about that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that y'all have been out, and drop it in the comments. Tell me where you have been so I can find y'all, because I'm not seeing y'all out here, but prove me wrong. Drop it in the comments, or tell me where you're going to use these tactics to get yourself into. Now, I told you if you waited to the end, I would tell you how I can afford to dress for these events, because when you're going out all the time, you're like, I want to be spending all this money on looking the part. I'm going to tell you, first, thank you for subscribing, liking the video, and turning on notifications. Second, resale is it. I don't run out and spend a whole bunch of money. Every time I have an event, I build a capsule for events, and it is for each season. So I'm very much aware what I have ready for each season for these events. And I have built the majority of that capsule. I would say 90% of that capsule has been resale. Okay, maybe 85%. And that percentage that was purchased new and basically off the rack, majority of that it consists of shoes, footwear. So where I like to shop, my favorite places to shop, because I just said resale, eBay, Goodwill, and Poshmark. I am resale queen, and I will find anything and everything to build up my capsules for going out. I will be at the most expensive event looking fantastic, and I will be wearing a $40 dress. No shame, you will not be able to tell. I know designers, I know foreign designers, and I know that information that helped me to buy things at a great price. And I'm not talking about designers that everybody is wearing. That's another thing. Like, please don't, when it comes to these events, don't get into the label game. Most people who are at these events and people that are financially in a different level right now, they don't be wearing all those labels. There's very few. You'll see some of that, but they don't wear all of that. And you don't have to wear it either. Your classic black dress that you have to go out or whatever does not need to be a certain brand. It needs to fit well, fit your body well, fit your proportions well, and be well made. Like it's the whole package. So for me, that translates to me buying a lot of resale. And if I don't want to purchase anything to build my capsules, I also borrow. Now this is not anything new. I mean, I know there's like Rent the Runway and things like that. But what I mean by borrowing is my best friend who is similar size and shape as me, we share closets. And this is something that my mom, it's funny, this is something my mom used to do way back in the 80s. I grew up on another side of Houston, northwest side of Houston. There's not a lot of black families out there, but there was another black family across the street that my mom was friends with the wife, and they would do stuff like share their fur coats, or if one had one, they share jewelry. You don't need to own everything you need for these events in your closet. It's just not necessary, especially if you start to build up a collection of friends that like to do the same things. Then you guys can borrow back and forth, and then you don't even have to buy anything. So that is the last tip that I have for you. If you want to see, I guess if you're interested in seeing my capsule, I might drop that in a video. I'm thinking about it. I think I might do that for you guys. If you've made it this far and you're interested in like the fashion side of it, I might need to do that video for y'all so you can see what I'm talking about. Because right now you probably don't believe me. You do not believe that you are seeing Jenée in a $10 or $20 dress or $40 dress at an event that people pay thousands to get into. You're probably not believing it, but it's true. So I'll work on that for you. But until next time and until the next video, have a wonderful day. Bye.